Okay. Okay. Midsommar.
Yeah.
We just saw Midsommar.
Is it summer?
Summer? It's not spelled summer.
I don't know.
I, for one, would like to go first.
Okay, good.
Okay. I've never been to an EDM festival, but that's how I imagine it is. That was the most insane movie I've ever seen in my life, to be honest with you. You know, the Bird Box challenge, do the stupid thing.
Yeah.
That's no challenge. Here's a challenge for you. Take your grandmother to go see this movie and tell me what she thinks of that. That's my challenge to you. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It's visually incredible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The way the locations and sets are shot are insane.
From a technical aspect, it's even the way it sounds,
yes.
the way it looks,
the sound design is incredible.
The sound is crazy.
It's like the loudest movie I've ever heard.
It's really weird. Yeah,
the sound design, sound mixing is
great. It's very different.
I was sweating. I was like, it got so much under my skin that I was sweating and my anxiety was just through the roof.
That is what I was going to say. It's not a horror movie. I wouldn't say as much. But
people are going to hate this movie.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
No one's going to like this movie unless you have...
It made me extremely anxious, and it made me extremely unsettled, and it got under my skin in a really just... You don't even feel comfortable sitting there. Like, I kept shifting in my seat just because it's just under my skin and so uncomfortable. And there's just things that are going on screen that, like, you'll notice and you don't think that it's actually happening. Like, you think your eyes are messing with you. And then when you realize it's happening, I mean, there are parts where I want to throw up.
Yeah.
Like, it's just too much.
You'd have to be a crazy person to come up with this. But
yeah, for sure. He's insane.
Oh, absolutely.
He's insane.
There's something...
and Hereditary, he's insane.
There's something wrong with it.
He has a problem.
It's very slow.
Yeah.
But... it's purposefully slow because
Yeah.
that's what really lets the anxiety like seep in. Because
yeah.
I didn't see a single trailer. It's like a Suspiria. Like I went into Suspiria knowing like it was about dancing, and then I was taking the whirlwind there. Yeah. This was kind of the same thing, except I didn't even know anything. I just saw like the girl crying on the poster, and that was really it. And boy, I was taken for a ride. I loved it.
It's very weird. I want to see it again because
I don't know if I could ever see it again.
I want to see it again. It's very bizarre. But
what would you give it? What's your rating?
I'm probably... 4 feels low, and I wouldn't give it a 5, I don't think, until I see it again, because I don't know if I'm there with everything, so I'd probably say 4.5 now. It's just so bizarre and unsettling. It's unsettling in a really good way. If you don't like jump scares and you want to just sit there and feel sick to your stomach for 2.5 hours... That's basically how I felt.
I'm giving it the 5, baby. I loved it. I mean, I would not recommend this movie. I mean, because I feel like people would hate this.
I'm really curious to see what people think. Because I feel like if I took somebody to this, they wouldn't.
You know the Rotten Tomatoes score and the audience scores, like sometimes it's very
it'll
polarizing.
Probably be very
my God, I can't even imagine.
It'll be all over the place.
Did you like it more than Hereditary? This is this guy's second film.
It's because in my mind it's a different, like Hereditary left me, like when I left the theater I was kind of shaking. Like it was because Hereditary is scary in my opinion. Like there's parts of that movie that are actually like horrifying. This is more like I walked out and I just didn't want to fucking talk about it. I didn't want to. I just wanted to go home, go to sleep. But Hereditary I walked out of and I was like physically shaking. This is more just it leaves you unsettled as hell. It's very there's scenes that are fucking
Hereditary took my breath away at times. Like it was like especially with what happens to the daughter.
Once that movie's halfway through, the second half is insane.
Yeah, Hereditary took my breath away. This got under my skin. And
I think they're different.
Didn't let go. Like there was like a point when I even turned to Nolan. I was like,
there was like 40 minutes left, and you were like, dude, I want it to end.
It's like I can't take it anymore. That's how I'm not even like exaggerating. Like it really got to me.
It's a trip.
It's not.
It's a trip.
I wouldn't say it's scary. It's just nerve-wracking. That's just the best.
It will make you anxious.
It will make you very anxious. Okay, and I didn't want to go here, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Okay. I feel like some people might have a problem with this, and I didn't know how I felt about it either. Okay, so you take a movie like Us, which is Jordan Peele's second film, and you take Midsommar, which is Ari Aster's second film. They're both very well done.
Yeah.
One problem I could have seen in Midsommar, but I let slide, and I'll explain why, that I didn't in Us, was the comedy of it all. Some of the lines in it.
Mm-hmm.
In Us, I felt like it was very distracting. Like, for instance, when they're in the car and they're like, I murdered this and this, I get to drive. And it was like distracting to what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And as it went bigger and bigger, I didn't like where it was headed.
Okay.
This, it wasn't distracting enough to where it almost felt like, to me, everyone was kind of on edge, including me, because I didn't really know what was going on. And
you will not know. Even at the end, you still don't know what's going on.
It wasn't distracting enough for me to be like, okay, let's get going. Like, where are you going?
Well, another interesting, a lot of the comedy in this...
It's very minor.
First of all, it is very minor. But second of all, it happens, like, some of it happens off screen. Like, you just hear people saying stuff. Like, it's not necessarily like the camera's on him and there's the funny line.
I don't think I would have laughed at some of the times if some of the audience actually seemed like they actually kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah, everybody was very silent.
I would have laughed at some of the parts if some of the other people weren't laughing at it. I couldn't tell if they were laughing at it or they were just so like, what the hell is going on?
Well, the comedy in this is almost like, I won't call it a release, but because you're so on edge,
I think that's what it was.
Because you're sitting in the theater completely emotionless, except for the fact that you're anxious, and you're begging him to give you an excuse to do something besides be anxious. So when there's comedy, it's like, okay, I want to laugh because this is fucking creeping me out. Like, you need an excuse to do something else because it's like so under your skin.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, I don't know. I understand that. But, I still think that it is very funny. Like, there's some pretty funny parts.
It's very funny. But it's almost like, oh my God. I think I was laughing. I was like, oh my God, who comes up with this?
It's very...
as like a final statement, this movie to me felt like a bad dream where, you're not really... Sometimes, the dreams that you have, like, almost like nightmarish. I wouldn't go as far as to say this was nightmarish. It was just more like a bad dream where you're not in control. You're just kind of there along for the ride.
And that's
how I felt.
That's funny that you bring that up too, because there were times where I got so into the scenes that were happening that I physically, like, there's times where you can get wrapped up in a movie, and there were times where I had to look away from the screen and like remember that I was in an audience, because there were actually parts that I got so caught up in that I did not want to be in there for. That I was like, okay, let me look away for a second and go back. It's extremely unsettling.
I need to hydrate and a sweatband if I ever watch that again.
I feel like I need a shower.
Like,
honestly.
Yeah, but final review. I'm gonna give it the 5.
I would probably go.
I loved it.
I feel like I could go 5, but I want to go 4.5 because I want to see it again. Because there's a lot of like hidden stuff too in the background.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I feel like that has deeper meaning.
That's why I want to watch it again.
But I felt like there was enough there for me to kind of understand kind of where it was going. Let's just say spoilers right now.
Okay, spoilers.
I kind of knew that she was probably going to go that way because the character with the longish hair, the one that brought them there, I forget his name again, with a P. He really brought in the sense that this is like his family. Yeah. And that, when he lost his family, that he had them. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, she's going to stay with them.
That's what I thought too. Exactly I thought the same thing. Mm-hmm.
That was kind of like, okay, I know where this is headed.
Yeah.
And I honestly was like waiting. I was like, after seeing Hereditary, I kind of should have assumed that nobody was going to get away or anything.
Yeah.
I just didn't know it was going to go as disgusting as it
There are some extremely graphic scenes. If we're saying spoilers, the whole, like, them jumping off is disgusting.
It's funny. I was just sitting there waiting. I was like, when is this going to get insane? Like, when is the crazy stuff?
Well, and that's because I thought the same thing during Hereditary. And I was like, this, it's a little unsettling, but when is this going to get... And he does this thing, like, halfway through the movies, one thing will happen, and everything after it is just insane.
Yeah.
So
it's it's almost like a slow descent.
Yeah,
it's not like, whoa, crazy.
Yeah. He spends the first half making you just like...
I think the point of it all, or what I kind of gathered from it, was kind of like Americans' ideas of foreign culture.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think the whole point of it was, because everybody's like so normalized to what it is because that's just what they've been doing for every 90 years or something like that, or that's what they've been prepared to do, and then You know, I have these Americans like, this is insane.
Yeah, it's insane.
This is insane.
It's insane.
I think that's what I kind of gathered from it all. I think that's what I would assume would be the point of it all.
Yeah, and aside the fact that he's just effed up in the head and probably needs to get this out.
Yeah, and this is why I love these kind of movies, because it's like, we gotta cram this into a 2-minute and 20-second video, but I could just go on and on and on. And
I'm extremely surprised that this actually has a wide release. Like I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
I'm interested in how it's gonna do.
Because normal people will walk out of this movie, and I mean, I would not be surprised if people left.
I want to know what the cinema score is.
I would be curious too.
I want to know what people's.
I mean, it's very polarizing.
Oh, Betty thought of Midsommar.
I mean, I can't. Yeah. Because it's pretty well received by critics, right?
Come on, Richard. Let's go see a movie.
Oh, man.
Midsommar.
It's so fucked.
Yeah,
it's very fucked.
Yeah. 5 stars for me. I loved it.
I'll go 4.5. I want to see it again. But
I don't know if I could.
I do want to see it again, but it's very stressful.
Yeah.
It's
very slow.
Yeah.
I was never bored with it though.
It's not your normal horror movie. So if you want that, just don't fucking go, please.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't recommend it.
No, not to anybody who just wants to go in and, oh God, did you see what happened?
Yeah. Oh, boo.
Yeah, it's not like nothing like that. Yeah, it's totally different.
Awesome. Dude, I loved that movie.